Hi guys and welcome with me, the 40K Empress. We do have stuff to talk about, and it's GW and Amazon, the TV shows and the movies that we are all waiting for, led by Henry Cavill. Hopefully, if all is good. But we're going to discuss what actually this report is saying, and there are two fronts of it. The first is, of course, the GW Amazon deal, and the other is about gaming, which in this case is not that interesting, but we're going to discuss both. And of course, first starting with the GW Amazon deal. So this just came out. So let us take a look at this, guys. So you can see right here, the first when it says entertainment, that is where I'm going to read right now what it says. So, entertainment. As we announced in December 2023, we have entered into an agreement with Amazon Content Services LLC Amazon, a subsidiary of Amazon.com Inc., for the prospective development by Amazon of Games Workshop's Warhammer 40,000 universe into films and television series, together with associated merchandising rights. Which is very interesting. Basically, I'm not sure how much Amazon can do merchandise for GW. I mean, I'm not sure how that's gonna work, but it's interesting. Okay, continuing. Under the terms of the agreement, Games Workshop has granted exclusive rights to Amazon in relation to films and television series set within the Warhammer 40,000 universe, together with an option for Amazon to license equivalent rights in the Warhammer Fantasy universe following the release of the initial Warhammer 40,000 production. So the way that I understand this is that Amazon will also have totally freedom to put on screen Warhammer Fantasy stuff as well, as long as Warhammer 40,000 is also successful. So that's how I understand this. And again, now we're getting to the meat of things. Games Workshop and Amazon are working together for a period of 12 months ending in December 2024 to agree creative guidelines for the films and television series to be developed by Amazon. The agreement will only proceed if the creative guidelines are mutually agreed between Games Workshop and Amazon. We will update you accordingly. Okay, so this is it, guys. This is the thing, which of course worries me a lot, because this literally is saying that if they don't have some kind of an agreement until 2024 December, mind you, they did not put a date on it. They just said, as you can see here, December, we are done. That's it. Any hopes of a show or a movie in the foreseeable future is going to be completely tarnished. So unfortunately, a bit of what was said in terms of rumors is now turning out to be correct. I mean, it does seem a bit iffy the way that it was written, what Arch reported like around a month ago. But now with this is absolutely official from GW, guys. We are just basically informed that if they don't reach an agreement, we will not see any shows or whatever it is. Now, Henry seems to be preparing himself by reading Aaron Dembski-Bowden, which is great. Of course, he has to keep himself invested in Warhammer to keep himself inspired. That's all well and good. But December, guys. So now, the only thing that is left for us as fans is really pray that they going to reach agreement about what is going to be brought on screen. Hopefully Henry can talk some sense into them, because he knows what it could work within the Warhammer 40K universe. And we have talked about this before, guys, but as you may remember, if you haven't heard me say this before, I prefer for whatever Henry is going to do, whatever Amazon is going to do, for them to start the story from some kind of a beginning. Because if we don't have a cohesiveness to the universe, no one is going to get it. You cannot just use random stories the way that Warhammer Plus has been doing for the past almost 3 years now, just bringing random animations, random stories from Warhammer. This is all well and good for most people that are already Warhammer fans, but for people that have no clue what the heck is Warhammer 40,000, they also need this to have cohesion and to have a beginning, So to me, that will be somewhere like a recap or something about the emperor's life, how he became the emperor, then the unification wars, how he brought everything together, and then he went on the crusade, then the heresy, and so on and so forth. We have tons of absolutely gold as material, and we should not miss this. I mean, how can we not want to see how the emperor was actually created for us to finally have this completely established, not be some kind of a speculation or a theory, and then to see him progress as he grows in power, grows in wisdom and knowledge. Basically, he is like Highlander, being immortal and all of those things, being different people of note throughout human history, eventually meeting Malcador, and how compelling that story could be if we see how he meets Malcador the Sigillite. They become friends. Malcador, with his also infinite wisdom, basically advises the emperor to take his rightful place according to Malcador, and become the emperor of mankind. The prospects of this, then the technology behind everything, the amazing Thunder Warriors and how they got killed by the Custodes, the drama, the epicness, the scale of it. Just imagine this, guys. I mean, how can you not want to see this brought to life? Because what this is the core of Warhammer 40K. It is not the small stories here and there. It is not the orcs by themselves. I mean, I talk with you guys in the comments a lot of the times. I read all the comments. I see what you guys are saying. I'm going to see the live chat. Just hold on. Hold on. I'm going to see the live chat. So, I get that you want to see different stories from Warhammer, but if we want for this universe, for our universe to succeed and to give us true Warhammer, and also to be compelling to the mainstream audience so they can get the concept of it, because we very well know that Warhammer is huge. It's the biggest universe that was ever brought on any screen by far, and they have to make some kind of a cohesiveness and continuity to it. It just has to have a start, and the start cannot be from an orc world somewhere in the whole of the galaxy, or whatever, a small story. It cannot be just a small story, just the one faction of the universe. Or it cannot just start from Eisenhorn, because Eisenhorn is someone, a character from 40K, and behind him there's ton of story, like thousands of years, literally 30,000 years, actually 40,000 years of story behind this man's back, and it's much more substantial than he is. I mean, he's a great inquisitor, don't get me wrong, but how about the freaking emperor before him that actually made this whole thing possible? How about the Primarchs? There's so many people, not just me, that find the Primarchs and the Emperor most compelling in the whole universe. They are the meat of the universe. For them, everyone fights. I mean, for them, the Astartes fight for the Imperium. I mean, also for them, the Astra Militarum lose their lives. For them, the Sisters of Battle also lose their lives. They're everything. So how can you not start and explain what 40K is through the story of the Emperor, which could be extremely compelling? I mean, to me it is, but it's so freaking scattered throughout all the books that we have. it is just sprinkled around, and the Emperor is just so minuscule compared to all the other characters, and how much book time, story time they actually have in the whole lore. We need more of him, we need for him to be more fleshed out, and for the audience to be able to connect with him. And imagine how much of a character with such nuance can be the Emperor on any screen, the small screen, the bigger screen. The audiences have never seen such thing before. So to me, guys, I don't want to get on like this huge rant, but that is why I love 40K. It's not because it's super badass, although that is one of the reasons for sure, but it is because the story of the Emperor, the thousands of years that he went through, what he did, who he is, his enigma, he's a interesting mystery, he is. And then his sons, it's so interesting, everything that has to do with his relationship, with his sons. What was his idea of the imperium, and how his sons actually are extension of the Emperor, and then the Astartes are extension of the Emperor and the Primarchs. Everything, then Chaos, the relationship between the Emperor and Chaos, what he took from Chaos to become more powerful, how he created the Primarchs, the mother of the Primarchs. There are just layers upon layers. So Warhammer is just begging for either amazing movie series or a high budget TV show that will take a look at the whole Warhammer 40K timeline. And of course, before the Emperor, you have the creation of the universe. You have the Old Ones, you have the Necrons, you have the War in Heaven. That could be touched upon with like fast, let's say, like flashbacks or one or two episodes, just to see the scale, just to expand before our eyes the whole scale of the 40K, and then start with Terra, continue with Terra, touch upon the other races and how are they created, and between everything with the Emperor, the other races, the Eldar, the Orcs, and the Necrons, whatever, that could be expanded upon, and they could be shown in time and in other shows that are separate, and those shows can take a look more closely towards the Orcs, towards the Eldar, towards the Necron, but the focus has to be on the main thing, which is the Imperium of Man, because we are also humans, and we're going to mostly relate to the Imperium of Man. Now, of course, when I'm saying all of this, once again, I am thinking about us as fans, because if you love Warhammer 40K, you just have to appreciate the meat of the lore, what actually is Warhammer 40K, and that's the Emperor, that's the Imperium for the most part, and then is everything else, which is absolutely grandiose and amazing. But the first thing is the Emperor and the Primarchs. That is the base of 40K. And then what I actually I actually lost my train of thought from everything that I wanted to express, but yeah, basically you can use the Imperium for a main thing. That's going to be good for both fans and the mainstream audience. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. And you can always make separate shows for everyone else and still give them a super good and solid representation. Amazon have the money, they do. So that is possible, on paper, on theory, but for the other factions to also be brought on screen, the main Imperium has to be firstly prioritized and brought to life. Because once again, that's 40K. So main Imperium prioritized, that is going to be the one thing that's going to ensure more people to watch and more people to understand 40K. So even if you're not a fan, you could understand and join. But if you are already a fan, this should be also good for you, and the other factions later on be added should be also good for you, and should be also good for everyone else, really. So 40K right now is niche. To be successful, it has to be focusing on the Imperium. That is just my thoughts on this. Now I'm going to take a look at your comments. Don't explode. I needed to say all of that because I'm super passionate about the 40K and why I love it. It's just about the layers of it and the compelling story about the whole thing with the Emperor, how everything happened. Then the heresy and the character development within everyone, within Horus, why he betrayed the Emperor, just so awesome. And yeah, Martin, Mr. Mewtwo, Daniel, greetings. Daniel says, start with the Great Crusade and add back stories as the crusade goes, how One Piece did it. How One Piece did it? Okay, I did watch One Piece, but I'm not sure if that is the best thing. I mean, at least you have to give some kind of a flashbacks, some kind of a story how the 40K universe even began with the Eldar, not the Eldar, sorry, with the Old Ones and the Necrons and the War in Heaven. Even if it's a flashback, it's enough to see what actually happened there. Emperor and the Unification War, Crusades, Heresy, done. Yeah, whatever. I mean, basically, it's similar to what I said. Or 6 seasons of shows. Well, guys, as long as Henry and Amazon GW together can present the Imperium correctly and the story of the Emperor and the Primarchs as much as they can in whatever format that is going to be best, I'm like, yeah, do it. Do it. As long as you do it right. I do think that that's going to be better suited than shows. It just seems like it because of the length of the 40K universe. But they can always choose to make 3-hour movies, in the movie theaters. That's not going to be very, very practical, basically. Non-fans will not care about the Unification Wars. They want Primarchs. Are you sure? Because if they care about the whole story, that's my point, they'll understand what are the Unification Wars. Those also can be shown quickly. They do not need to dwell on them forever, as long as people understand what happened, how the Emperor, did the unification of Earth, basically. Okay, let me read. Sophania says, if the show comes out, I hope they have episodes dedicated to some of the Xenos and it's not just Imperium based. There's so much lore, it doesn't need to be all Space Marines like Jedi. Of course, just the beginning, the base has to be that. And then, of course, they have to expand on the other Xenos factions. That is a must. It's just the base has to be the Imperium of Man. Literally, because that is the base. If you're going to do it right, do it justice, do a valid and accurate, adequate representation of the 40K universe, the Imperium of Man is the first thing. It's just this. Okay, what else? Daniel says, Sladley, as a Tau and Nork fan, they probably will just be a sidelined. The only other race that may get screen time might be the Eldar. That shouldn't be the case because, they do have their fans. I actually like the Tau. I appreciate how they are trying to do something different here, but as everyone else, they're just misguided in a different way. Trazin would be a great character to do something with. Of course. He's a genius. Or something about the war in heaven. Yeah, like I said, that's very good for like a flashback to show the war and how everything happened with the very cool monologue. Someone that's storytelling at the beginning, like a epic trailer of some kind. But that's like the intro of the show. That's how I imagine it. Like, long time ago. No, I'm kidding. It has to be something very original that's going to be very akin to 40K, and that is going to do justice to 40K. But how the height you? I think loosely following the Horus Heresy book series would be a decent plan. The books follow the timeline and have various recurring characters for ease of casting. Yeah, but again, that is very further in the future and you're missing of 30,000 years of story and lore. So at least you gotta give some kind of a visuals to how the emperor rose to power, how he was created. That's going to be amazing to see if he is really a combination of many shaman souls. That's going to be just a great scene to watch, to witness the birth of the emperor of mankind, and how he was like at the beginning probably more barbaric, like the muscular Conan kind of a guy. That's how I imagine him. And then through the course of his life, like the first murder that he did, he killed his uncle, and then how that progressed, how he grew as a person, as a man. It's just so interesting. Just the character study, of such a being is fascinating to me. Absolutely fascinating. Daniel says they need to get the ball running of they do it right. It's like 20 years of media already made. Daniel, not quite sure what you mean, but what I said could be done. There's many ways to do it, so for sure that could be brought on screen. And Sophia says, I think the orcs will get some screen time. Definitely Chaos Tyranids, Necrons should show up too. Everyone freaking should show up. Everyone deserves to be here because everyone are a part of the 40k universe. Everyone deserves to be here, really. Even the Tyranids, because they're actually extremely fascinating on their own. They might be killing machines, but even they have evolved, stealing genes all over the place and literally evolving. They're also interesting in their own way. Daniel says, Nits, well, just be canon. Well, just be canon? Eh? Daniel? What do you mean? Sophia says, I feel like a great opening action sequence for episode 1 will be a big battle scene seeing the green tide of the orcs. Yes, but before that, who created the orcs? The old ones. So why not see them in space and how they conduct their business, let's say. Okay, going down. Daniel says, have the orcs talking and being orcs would be great and not just hulking brutes. That in general. When it comes a time for the orcs to be on screen, for sure. For sure that's gonna be great. Sophia says, focusing on the Imperium will help bring the new people, but also create the Jedi Star Wars problem. I don't think so, because there's so much more than just the Astartes there. You will focus on the Emperor, then you will focus on the creation, what he did. I mean, how he conquered, his character development, how he conquered the world, how he met and how he developed his friendship with Malkador the Sigillite, the Age of Strife, also a very interesting time. Then how that went to the next age in time, how he created Thunder Warriors, how he killed them, then the Custodians, the process of that. I mean, there's a lot. Then the Primax, eventually the Emperor going to fight the Void Dragon, stealing power from Chaos. There's gonna be like a while before we actually get to the Astartes, and then after we get to the Astartes, then we can introduce the Xenos and then fight the Xenos, focus on Xenos, like have a few episodes on one of the Xenos planets, like the Eldar, their rise and fall, the different types of Eldar, Craftworld Eldar, the Slaaneshi Dark Eldar, you know what I mean? Then the Tau, how they were younger and how they were created, how they think about the world. So different perspectives of the Imperium, Xenos 1, Xenos 2, Xenos 3, So it does not have to be Astartes, a Jedi or something, because Astartes are warriors. They go to different planets, they fight. Later on, after the heresy, you have more of the Astra Militarum. But the drama between the royal family and the Primarchs, more of that. I don't know how we can actually say that the Jedi thing is an equal and true equivalent, because it is really not. I mean, the Jedi also are the most interesting part of Star Wars because they made it what it is. Without the Jedi, we have the Mandalorian, who is great on his own, but as everything, whichever comes first, that is the one thing that actually makes the universe what it is. So we have to respect that. I mean, I get there's other cool characters, other cool factions, and they can always be there and represented in a very substantial way, but you cannot just strike the Astartes and say that they're in some kind of way a problem because they are the meat and potatoes of the universe, whether some of you like it or not. It's just how it is. Now, GW are making a huge effort to write a lot of novels about them because, once again, that is what people want. And I know that some people want, like Astra Militarum, more stories about Sisters of Battle. That should be there, and it is there. It is there. It just is not to the same extent. So they're just basically producing what they think it's selling because they can actually see what it's selling. So it's all about that at the end of the day. We can all have our preferences, but if we want to make a successful show, we do have to prioritize what actually have worked and what actually made the 40K what it is. And that's still the mankind, I mean the Imperium of Mankind, the Astartes, the Primarchs, Malkador even, just the humans, and then everything else could be still absolutely there and still have its own focus. But look at what GW did with Hammer and Bolter. It's not a bad series, but it's scattered all over the universe, and you have episodes from whatever really it is, from whatever it is. And the cohesion, the cohesiveness just isn't there. There's even episodes from Warhammer Fantasy. They cannot just stick to one freaking thing, and some of the episodes do feel like they're very out of left field just because they don't have any continuity to them. They're just like single stories, just basically they're throwing them on the wall and see what sticks. That's how it feels like. And when you present a mainstream story, basically if you want to make a story mainstream and present to the mainstream audience, you have to make that audience at least interested to watch it, because then how we're going to even have this being sustained through the years? Who is going to watch it? I mean, we are going to watch it, probably most of us, but then you do have to honor us and honor the rest of the people that have no idea. Like, remember, people have no idea what's Warhammer 40K, and compared to other universes like Star Wars, it is extremely confusing and is much richer, much longer, with many, many, many books, like so many books. Even in the Horus Heresy, there's I don't know how many books by this point. Over 90 maybe? I mean, there are really so many. So just have to have all of this in mind. Sorry guys. I gotta drink some water when I'm talking for so long and so passionately about these things. But yeah, you have to have everything in mind. Just make the 40K as it is, but do what you're supposed to do, which is the meat and potatoes, and then everything else will follow that the way that it kind of follows that in the stories anyway. The way that the novels are written and the relationships, I mean the ratio between Xenos and the Imperium of Man, those things just complete each other. So that's how you should do it. Okay guys, I cannot read everything. I'm going to quickly see your comments. Okay, reading. Different Xenos and Chaos Threat. In general, yes. We don't have a confirmed backstory on how the Emperor was made, yes, but that's why it's going to be good if they actually make it, if we actually see it. Like, for sure, they can just finally solidify how he was made. I agree now you put it like that. Seeing the Emperor meet Malkador and the Sigillite and how that goes would be interesting, and how the Emperor may have influenced events even in our current time. Yes, of course, because we are in the past right now. Currently, basically, we're M3, I think, in the whole continuity. Isn't the story the Emperor existed since the beginning of man, or that is propaganda? Not propaganda, retcon, and he is now a chaos god. Martin, where are you getting this from? I mean, I read the last Horus Heresy book. He is not a full-fledged chaos god. He's an entity that is in the warp, and he refused to become actually a god, because if he did, he would consume the whole universe, destroying everything, including Terra, mankind, absolutely everything, and he relinquished this power in favor of not doing that to everyone. So he is not a chaos god in the ways that we are maybe thinking right now. I don't know what you're thinking, but he's not a chaos god. He is an entity that's extremely powerful, but we don't know how powerful in this current time. From whatever I read, be that current books or the Horus Heresy, the last 3 books, the End and the Death part 1, 2, and 3, is not anywhere explicitly stated that the Emperor is a full-fledged chaos god. He does not seems to be in that line, and he seems to be really the opposite of the chaos gods. He is an anathema of them, so he's some kind of an opposite of them. He might be a very, very godlike, powerful entity, but we do not know how powerful he actually is compared to the other chaos gods. We just don't know. Nobody is written. Here is the power level of the Emperor, and here is the other power levels of Khorne, Slaanesh, Things, Nurgle, and so on. So yeah, and actually he had the chance to become a god, but he didn't. He said, nah, not gonna do that. I better just fight Horus the way that I am, because I just cannot afford to lose everything. And he actually relinquished his good and selfless qualities, all the goodness that makes him have any compassion and true feelings, the positive feelings that he actually possesses. That is how we know that he actually has some. And he sent those to the ether, so to speak, and that is the Star Child, basically. And one day those powers are meant to go again, return to the Emperor and become one, and then we'll see what's gonna happen, and then we'll see the Emperor's true face when he actually becomes one with his good qualities, how adequate he will become, hopefully a lot. So there's a lot about the Emperor, guys. Okay. TTS is the best Warhammer 40K show. It is because we don't have anything to rival with. I actually really like Pariah Nexus from the official stuff. I really like that. It's just another small story, basically. Someone said that, and that it will eventually come down to just orcs and nits. Martin, I wouldn't listen to any like that speculation, especially if you read the books, because if you read yourself the books, you will have a lot greater understanding of what's actually happening. And if you actually watch Dan Abnett and some of his interviews, the way that he explains what is happening, his train of thought, if you ever studied any literature and how different writers think when they're writing stories, he also explains some of that process. It's just very fascinating, and basically they do have to think about a lot more of who is this guy, that guy, what is this universe, what is this doing, whatever. What is the Golden Throne, for example? They know, but they will only write certain parts of that, whatever they want us to know and to read, but they actually know a lot more above that, so they can write the whole thing and actually make it interesting and to decide what to hide and what not to hide from us as the readers. So have this in mind. Okay, you just thought that's gonna be a great twist? No, I don't think so. Something has to happen that's going to be of great consequence, but in the way that it makes sense and it has some kind of a meaning. Because if you just kill everyone and just like leave 2 factions to kill and everyone, to kill themselves and everyone else are freaking dead, what the heck is the meaning of everything? What's the character development there for then? You have all those amazing layered characters. Even if you take Fulgrim and what he went through to become a demon primarch was extremely fascinating. So you have these amazing, amazing characters. You should not waste them just like that. I'm actually going to really want to finish and like read all the Primarch's books that I haven't read personally, not only study the Primarch, but just read the books on my own, because I haven't yet read all the Primarch's books, to really know each and every Primarch and analyze them. That is what I really love to do. Right now I'm finishing No Fear, to basically see what the developers of Space Marine 2 have read to prepare for this game. So that to me was interesting, and I'm like, okay, have not read this book yet. Let me read this book. And there's actually some really cool stuff there about Gilliman and Logar that are interesting and hilarious, just letting you know. So I just come from a long 16-hour shift. Pop to say hi, hope all well and all in chat. Well, Kid Bash, thank you so much. Thank you. As Fine says, I have read comics from Abnett. They were good, but never any of how Warhammer stuff. He's the writer they based the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise of, though. Really? I gotta check. I mean, I know that he wrote for Marvel and DC, but I don't know everything that he wrote for them. Hi all. 7, did I miss the news? Lord Inquisitor, yes. But I'm going to repeat that real quick, and then we're going to go to the second part of this report. Oh God, that's a good novel of Messiah. Yeah. Vasuda says, for me, Fulgrim is one of my favorite characters. Brilliant book in the Horus Heresy series, to purely about him and his downfall, along with the rest of the Emperor and the Emperor's children. Lucius, the Eternal, etc. Yes, and even if you take freaking Lucius, which by the way did get a good representation in one of those Hammer and Bolter animations. Actually, that was one of the last episodes and one of the best. Yeah, he's a fascinating, freaking, very bad fella. Okay, he's interesting. Okay, so Sfani says, so who do people root for to come out on top in Warhammer universe? They all seem pretty evil on the surface and hard to root for any of the particular, really. I mean, I don't know what you mean, because there are Primarchs that are truly noble and loyal, and they, I mean, to me, I say, because I just love Primarchs. I would love, for example, for Rogol Dorn to return, see what happened. Where is his arm? I mean, his hand. Will he return with like a new metal kind of a hand? I mean, what the heck happened with Rogol? You know, I just want to know. Lord Inquisitor says, I have a stack of books about the Foot High that I need to finish before I get any more books. Okay, the 07 is salute, by the way. Okay, thank you. If you aren't from humanity, then I don't know what to say. Okay. Okay, Lord Inquisitor. Okay, guys, so I gotta focus on the second part of the news, and that is it, really. So let us see. The next thing, I mean, like I said, a real recap for anyone that just joined. Amazon and GW, and that is official because it's a part of the annual report that GW just released. Amazon and GW are in talks for a period of 12 months, and that is ending in December 2024. They did not specify, as you can see here, if you can read this, which December 2024, but they said that they have to agree on the creative guidelines for the films and television series to be developed by Amazon. The agreement will only proceed if the creative guidelines are mutually agreed between Games Workshop and Amazon. We will update you accordingly. That's what they say. So if they do not agree, we are toasted and we will not get anything. So December is totally the last chance of us to see if we are getting any shows or not. And now about the video games. During this period, our licensing partners launched 3 new games, 2 PC, console, and 1 mobile. We also saw revenue from established games that continue to perform well many years after launch, through a mixture of added content and continued marketing. Particular launches of note were Rogue Trader and Warp Forge. I think that's the mobile game. I do not play mobile games on my phone. I'm just not wasting my battery for that. So I don't know how those games could be performing. Now, the general backdrop still remains challenging for this market in the short term. Our team under a new boss, It's new boss, guys. New boss on the gaming team of GW continues to promote the depth of our IP and its unique lore and setting to potential licensing partners. So basically, he is promoting Warhammer 40K to other game studios in the hopes that maybe, just maybe, they can make, like, please God, I just want a AAA game. I just want a AAA game. Space Marine is that, but this is the only AAA game that we will have. So we need more. I do not count Total War Warhammer 3 because it's a strategy. I mean AAA third person or first person game. But don't get me wrong, like that other game, damn it, I just played it like a few weeks ago. Yes, Bolt Gun. It's amazing. It's not exactly AAA, but the quality of it, Jesus, I mean, it's like a very old but super awesome, super classic, super fast-paced, super fun game. So if you haven't tried Bolt Gun, if you don't mind pixels on screen, this game is just quality, like for sure. And they are continuing. Two new games were announced in that period: a sequel to a successful PC and console tactical game, Mechanicus 2, and a digital version of Talisman 5th Edition. Is that a card game? I do not play card games. We are delighted that the new games launching in 2024-2025 include the highly anticipated video game Space Marine 2. Yes, of course, this is the highlight, and if they do not screw it up, and if they do not fill it with woke stuff, and hopefully it's not filled with woke stuff, you're going to get actually the best game probably that Warhammer 40K has ever delivered. As a reminder, the viability and ongoing success of any of our licensing deals is broadly out of our control. They're reliant on licensing partners. So basically, it's relying, of course, on everyone, on the game studios. They're the ones that are doing their jobs. Our cash recipients' performance is linked to games launched. This can be different to report income, which includes an element of guarantee income on multi-year contracts not yet paid. More on that below. Okay, that was it, the relevant part of this report, guys. I think I may have... I think my signal broke for a second, but I should be back. So yeah, that is it, guys, really. We have things to look forward to, and to pray that on December we are actually going to have some kind of confirmation that Amazon and GW are going forward with the project, so we can actually have something substantial to watch in the near future. Yeah, on the side, new boss on the games department team is what they're saying. Bolt Gun is fun. It's basically reskin original Doom. Well, yeah, you kind of can't say that. Yeah, I do have it on Steam. I played it here, actually played it here recently. So if you want to go, here on the channel, you can actually find my playthroughs of Bolt Gun and the DLC as well. We haven't finished it yet with my friend Lowen, but we may be going to get back to it very soon. Small hiccup, but you're good now. Thank you. Something just happened with OBS, guys. So that is it, guys. Hopefully everything is just turning out, in our favor as fans, and that's gonna be a lot better for everyone and for people that have no idea what the heck's 40K. When I first discovered 40K, I was like, what the heck is this? It's amazing, it's badass, I love it. Just get me more more of that. But unfortunately, we do not have a Stardust 2 project, and we don't know what's happening with that. I really hope that Sam Pedersen going to bring us that eventually, but right now he just works on something else. And I'm saying him because if you don't know, Astartes and not GW was actually the first thing that I ever saw coming from Warhammer 40K. So it was not GW who introduced me to their IP, but it was a fan that just made an amazing product, and I was super impressed. And almost 3 years later, here we are. Question: which is your favorite army? If you had to pick one, Astartes was incredible, yes. Well, I'm a huge fan of Custodes, and that's why my friend Sir D, one of my viewers, decided to gift me through Amazon my first miniatures to paint, which are Custodes, and still are, because he gave me another pack of them with the Sisters of Silence and some hover bikes. It's really amazing, but it's my great pile of shame because it's still still sitting behind me and I haven't started yet, but I really want to. And one of you guys, Dan, also sent me 2 painted Ultramarines minis and 1 Inquisitor. Yeah, and that's very cool. So those are my minis. And yeah, I would say my favorite army are the Custodes, although they are not Astartes, but they're still an army, you know. Other than the Custodes, I really like the Ultramarines. I mean, I know that people don't like them, but I really like them. I really like Gilliman. I just like his character and how he can do things, and his stoicism and his strength of character in general. The fact that he is ruling a whole system of Ultramar and he has great story and great growth. Of course, every Primarch has a great story and a great arc and growth to their character. I love all the Primarchs. I appreciate each and every one of them. It's just that Gilliman is one of those guys that I really appreciate. So the Ultramarines do not bother me that they're more popular or whatever. And then Blood Angels, because Sanguinius is my favorite Primarch of all time, just before Gilliman. The Gilliman is my second, but very close first. Sanguinius is just like my very first. So I would like to have like Blood Angels in miniatures. I do have one in a in an action figure from McFarlane. But when it comes to painting and have my own miniatures, I would say that's gonna be Blood Angels. And having Dante as well, that's gonna be awesome. He has a new Joy Toy figure that's absolutely mind-blowing. So good and so expensive. And there's some rumors that we're going to get Sanguinius as an action figure of Joy Toy at the end of the year. So guys, keep your fingers crossed if you're a fan of action figures. But the Primarchs are amazing. Within 1 year, I was able to, with helps of some of you and my own money, I was able to get Gilliman. So this is my only Primarch that I own from Joy Toy. But at least it's him. So I'm happy, you know. And whatever possible, I hope to get it. The Golden Boys, yeah. Out in space. You new here? Hi to you, welcome to the stream. What do you, and hi to you, Niganato 3000. What do you think about skinheads? Skinheads? In 40K skinheads or regular ones? Okay, I really should get water for the streams because I did not expect to be on for 48 minutes. Are we allowed to talk about the sex here? Well, yes, but it's not, you know, my other expertise, area and expertise here, which I was about to actually talk about my educational videos about intimate relationships that I am doing purely to help people. It is just me talking. It's not me showing myself or anything like that. But yeah, educational videos about helping people with their intimate relationships. So that does include sex, of course. I'm talking about that. Okay, why do you want to talk about that in live stream about Warhammer? You know, I can always talk about that when I'm doing that kind of educational content. I cannot do that on YouTube. Otherwise, I would just be like, ooh, you know, I'm gonna just do that and not have to deal with OnlyFans as a platform, but it does allow me to just do educational videos and not do Slaanesh things. So yeah, it's a very good platform to just do normal content as well and just talk freely about those things. And also fitness and health, that includes fitness and health coaching, just me guiding you through that if you have any issues with fitness and health, any issues with friends even. I used to do some ASMR for people that like that, ASMR painting on the figurines, but I don't do that anymore. I did it here on YouTube because it's normal here just to, you know, talk very, very quiet and just paint figures. Some people find that relaxing. Some people still want me to do it. I just don't have time to do it, but yeah. Never mind that. I kind of got on a long rant about the other types of content that I'm doing, but yeah, it's good for you guys to, you know, to know And because we were talking about Mr. Beast the other day, the latest topics that I'm going to do actually at OnlyFans this week are going to be about is Mr. Beast bar, the Mr. Beast bar, that is his chocolate bar, Feastables, is that healthy? I'm talking about what it contains, is it healthy, all those things that you need to know. And the second topic is going to be about this recent case. Basically, this is spawned from this recent case of this guy that's called like Deadpool, Wade Wilson, who actually killed 2 girls, unfortunately. And the topic is going to be about the bad boy fetish that some girls have. And of course, that's not healthy. So those topics are all like educational and helpful topics that I'm doing over there, guys. That is why I'm using it for good, and I'm showing my own fitness progress without having to be completely naked or anything like that. I'm just showing my fitness progress. That is it. Always educational and tasteful, nothing else. But I really hope that some other platform is going to be more suitable and accessible for people, and I don't have to go there to do that. Yeah. Painting Slaanesh THINGS and slow whispers ASMR. Painting Slaanesh THINGS. How to paint Slaanesh THINGS. Do you mean Slaanesh demons? I kind of like the mixed troops in the boxes. Inquisitor army is something I've been working for ages. Oh, that's gonna be cool. A whole army of Inquisitors? Boy. Slaanesh THINGS, yes. An empress should have class. Yes, that's what I've been saying. And interestingly enough, guys, there's some people there that go, subscribe to my OnlyFans, and they're like, oh, well, actually, I'm grateful that you are not like fully naked or anything, and that you actually have class and you did tasteful pics and all those things, the content as well. And I'm like, thank you. I mean, I appreciate that because most men are like, show everything, just remove the censorship. Like, I'm like, I'm sorry, this is not what I'm about, guys. I'm really about, entertaining, informing, helping people. It is extremely awesome when some guy comes to me again at OnlyFans and he writes that he has this and that problem with his girlfriend, and I'm like, okay, well, why don't you try this kind of a approach to things? And then he comes back a few days later, he's like, oh, thank you so much, we actually fixed the issue, we're fine now, like I can't believe it, thank you so much. And I'm like, that is fulfilling, guys, okay? That is fulfilling to me. It's amazing. If I can't help anyone with whatever issue it is, that is truly where real, I don't know how to say it, like real accomplishment feels like when you actually help someone and you're useful. You're really useful. Yeah. Not a whole army like mixed force of inquisitorial stormtroopers. Oh, that's cool. Rather, enlisted guardsmen in the corps of Death Watch Astartes. Oh, that's so cool, Death Watch. Thank you, Martin. Thank you. I mean, it's hard to understand for many people, but I'm trying to really explain that I'm trying to do good there, and that is the only place that I can actually do that, unfortunately. But when I actually open like the base page of OnlyFans, I just see like normal content, like people doing vlogs, like car reviews or something, just like normal content. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe the image is going to change in time if also other people make, more normal content. They're just gonna be exclusive. So people can get to that if they want to support the creator, they can get this exclusive content. Yeah, that's good, but they really have to change around some things to make the user experience more friendly. There's some stupid stuff like that are not so fluent on YouTube. You cannot make playlists for the videos. That's very annoying. You just have to scroll like Instagram and see the videos. That's the issue. But yeah, could be a lot better, guys, for everyone. I love me some orcs. Why? Orcs are fun, and the story, of course, with the freaking Commissar Yarek and the awesome freaking badass orc. Totally forgot his name right now, damn it. And I have talked about him just like a few weeks ago. I mean, that is fascinating on its own. It's like Batman and, and the Joker or something, Their dynamic is great, but they killed Commissar Yarek, so that's a bummer. I don't know if they can bring him back, guys. Gaskell Traka, yes. Something good. What army do you collect? If you collect, well, as I said like a few minutes ago, I do collect custodies and I have more custodies to paint, but I do like to have blood angels eventually. That's how I can answer this. Yeah, Gasku Trakarak gets off a mad ship. It's mad. What? Hey, that's funny. Okay, guys, love ya. Just have a great night. I'm going to be here very soon. Till next time, you can watch my other streams yesterday about Doctor Doom, Mr. Beast, whatever. If you're interested in those things, and before that, with my friend Helzo, explaining him about 40K, and he doesn't know much about it, but he's fascinated. And we are talked about Space Marine 1 and 2, the games and other fun stuff. So that is also here. Take care, yeah, guys. Take care. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you guys so much for the support. Love ya. From me, the 40K Empress. Bye bye.